Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to episode number 984 of NoDQ video. That means only 16 more episodes left until episode number 1000. And you know what else? August 16th. 16 episodes to go until August 16th, which is episode number 1000 of NoDQ video. Thank you guys, as always, for checking out today's video. Make sure you check out the 10-year anniversary edition of Talk Wrestling, which is coming up on Sunday. Jeff Meacham will be there. I will be there. Jeff and I actually have a big announcement about a future video series on NoDQ.com. So check that out. Make sure you check out the 10-year anniversary special of Talk Wrestling. And with that being said, let's get down to your questions. First one today comes from Blake, and this isn't really a question but more of a comment, but a lot of people have been asking me about the alleged backstage heat on Enzo and Cass, so I'm going to read this comment and then give my thoughts. So what if Big Cass is a Donald Trump supporter? This is America. He has the right to support whoever he damn well pleases. So first off, regarding the backstage heat that Enzo appears to have, I'm not sure if that story is true or not. I think that it's unfortunate for Enzo in his position. Maybe he's a bit frustrated. Maybe he feels like he is going to be pushed down the card despite being one of the most over guys in WWE. I'm not sure what's going on there exactly. There are different stories out there about some sort of incident where he rubbed somebody the wrong way to the point where Roman Reigns, who has now taken the Undertaker's position as locker room leader, I guess since he beat him at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns kicked Enzo out of the WWE tour bus that the other talent were traveling in. Hopefully Enzo is able to have a good run in WWE, and hopefully this report and these stories about him are being blown out of proportion, but who knows. Now, regarding Cass and him apparently being a Donald Trump supporter, I think that that should really have no effect on his career. People should not let politics get involved with business, and in WWE, just because somebody has a different political view, you should remain a professional. That's my firm belief, that if you're a professional, you will work with somebody regardless of personal differences, political differences, religious differences. You be a professional and you work with that person and you don't complain and you don't do something that is childish because you disagree with somebody else's point of view. Will Big Cass, being a Trump supporter, help him with the higher-ups like Vince McMahon, who loves Donald Trump? It could help. Maybe that's why there's some possible resentment towards Big Cass. I don't know. I'm not there, but I will say if people are mad at Cass just because he likes Donald Trump, then that, in my opinion, is unprofessional. And you should not feel that way just because you disagree with somebody's political beliefs and have heat on them because of that. Professionals, you ignore that, you focus on making money. That is the objective, to make money. Got this one here from Craig Fuller on the topic of Big Cass. Hey Aaron, do you think the WWE will drop the name Big Cass and he will just be named Cass? We have seen it before where WWE has simplified names. Will they do it with Big Cass? I think Big Cass has a good ring to it. I really don't see the need to drop it, although it's quite obvious we know he's big. He's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. He looks the part. He's a big guy. Don't really need to call him Big Cass. We get it. He's big. So I could see them potentially doing that, just calling him Cass. I just think they've been calling him Big Cass for so long now, I really don't see a need to shorten it. Like with Antonio Cesaro and Big E Langston, it's a little bit of a mouthful. I could understand shortening it a little bit with those guys and their names. But with Big Cass, it's already short enough. I don't think there's a need to get rid of the big. But if they do it, whatever, will not bother me. This one comes from Ben Tooth. Hey Aaron, what did you think of Big Cass's new music? I thought it was a bit boring. I completely agree with you on that. I did mention this during our review video of Great Balls of Fire. I think that it sounded like a WWE video game generic song. The CFOs have come up with some really cool, unique theme songs in recent years, but this one did not stand out to me at all. When I heard Bobby Roode's theme song and Nakamura's theme song for the first time, I knew instantly those songs were going to be big hits. This one has not grown on me yet. After 2 shows, I still feel it's a generic theme song. I'm not sensing it's going to catch on with me. And if they're going to make Big Cass or Cass a major superstar, I think he needs a little bit better of a theme song. But that's just my opinion. You know, as I look at WWE, I think that you need to have the entire package with a character. Not just their in-ring abilities, not just their promos, but their look, their entrance music, and that includes pyro. I'll get to that in a few minutes, more on the pyro in just a moment. So I think that for the entrance music, for Big Cass to really be that major superstar, he needs something better. That's my opinion. This one comes from Daniel. So they canceled Talking Smack instead of 205 Live. That was one of the reasons some people actually saw the ending of 205 Live. Great point there. I'm really disappointed that WWE is canceling Talking Smack. I would assume it's the same reason they're getting rid of Pyro. Again, I'll get to that in a few minutes. I think it is probably due to budget reasons. I see no other purpose in getting rid of that show. I mean, it has gotten rave reviews. People love Talking Smack. People are very entertained by it. I don't see how it would be such an expense that they would have to get rid of it. You just have a basic set there and you just bring in the guys for post-show interviews. I don't see why they got rid of it. I really enjoyed Talking Smack, and I think that it probably helped 205 Live because people would tune in, at least for part of 205 Live, to catch Talking Smack. For me, it's not a good thing for 205 Live because now I have literally no reason to tune into 205 Live. I guess Neville is a reason, but to be perfectly honest with you guys, I have not watched 205 Live in several weeks. We've been doing a lot of NoDQ panel videos after SmackDown. That's one reason. But also, I really haven't had the motivation, especially now that Austin Aries is gone. And now with Talking Smack gone, there's even less of a reason to tune into 205 Live. So I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a mistake. 205 Live has been a venue for these guys to go outside the box a little bit with their promos and be more real and not be as scripted. I think it was a good thing for the talent. Not a fan of them getting rid of it at all. This one comes from Notorious Kanye. Thoughts on WWE cutting back on pyro and custom sets? Those cheap bastards. WWE cut back on the custom sets a long time ago. It's been like that for years. But with the pyro, that's a recent thing. And again, I'm not a fan of it. I know Road Dogg is saying that it's not important and people will forget about it in 3 months. Here's my take on it. Pyro helps with the overall package. Going back to earlier, it's the entrance theme, the look, the pyro, all this stuff put together is the package of a superstar. And the pyro gets people pumped. I've been to the live shows. When you're there, the pyro boosts up the energy in the crowd, the fireworks. It just gets you more excited. And it can theoretically create new fans. There was a viral video a few years back of a fan who shot a video of his 2-year-old son in the crowd, and the pyro was going off, and this little kid was just clapping, and he was so happy. He loved the pyro. And I look at it as that kid is going to be a fan for life. That is something he's going to remember for the rest of his life. And that's going to make him a lifelong wrestling fan, most likely. So why get rid of something like that? You have young fans there that, especially kids, that are going to love the pyro, and that's going to hook them. The pyro alone might hook these kids on wrestling. So why get rid of it? Road Dogg, you and I have been clashing. You blocked NoDQ on Twitter because I was being critical and you weren't a fan of it. But I think it's important, and I think I had a very rational reason for why it's important. I think if you're gonna cut the budget, that's not where you go. I think the pyro means more than you might think it does. I think it's a mistake. WWE is like a rock show. You want the fans to feel like they're at this big, massive rock concert, and the pyro is part of the deal. You cut the pyro, you're taking away a body part of the show. Now, it might not be the most important body part. Maybe it's just a leg or something, but, you know, maybe it's not as important as a leg. But it is something where without it, there's a piece of the show that's missing. And that's how I firmly believe. I think it's a mistake to get rid of the pyro. Custom sets, I'd be a fan if they brought it back, but to me that's not quite as important as getting rid of the pyro. This one comes from LK Pardo 18. If the Talking Smack show is turned off, do you think it is possible to extend the broadcast time of 205 Live? Possibly, but I don't see the point. I don't think it's going to bring in any new viewers. I think the 205 Live show, I was going to say 205 Love. I wish I could say I loved 205 Live, but I cannot say that at this time. I think that it's fine being 45 minutes, doing 2 or 3 matches. Maybe you could extend it to an hour and give the guys a little bit more time, but it's already a long taping as it is. You already have people losing interest during 205 Live. Unless you're going to change the format and record 205 Live before SmackDown, I don't really see the point in doing that, making it any longer. I think that it's just not going to result in anybody watching the show more often than they currently are. Got this one here from Wrestling Fan 94. With Paul Heyman praising Roman Reigns, could you see him turning on Lesnar in favor of Reigns? Do not see it happening. Don't think Roman Reigns is turning heel. I seem to be answering this question all the time, but you know, WWE does an angle where fans speculate just like at Great Balls of Fire. Don't think it's going to happen. If Heyman is going to turn on anybody, I think it would be, or if he was going to join up with anybody, excuse me, I think it would be Samoa Joe. I think that Heyman would turn on Lesnar and join up with Joe. In the storyline, Paul Heyman would be looking at Brock Lesnar as over the hill, and he's a washed up monster, and that's when Heyman, like the little crooked backstabber he is, he jumps to the next guy, the younger guy, his next meal ticket, so to speak. And I think that's a story that WWE can tell at some point. I think they will do that when Lesnar is close to wrapping up his WWE run. So will it happen in the next 6 months, or will Lesnar sign a new deal? I mean, as long as Lesnar is sticking around for the long haul, I don't see the point in having Heyman leave Brock Lesnar. I think the story would be most effective when Lesnar is getting close to ending his run, and you can do that storyline where Heyman is seeing Lesnar as washed up and then jump into the new guy, and Lesnar has to prove that he still got it. This one comes from Extreme Team. Why should Roman Reigns be in a #1 contenders match? Didn't Strowman beat him? Makes no sense. He's the big dog. It's his yard. He retired The Undertaker. He's Vince's boy. Yada, yada, yada. Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Roman Reigns. It's hard for me to answer because I guess in the world of WWE, it's who is the most dominant. It doesn't necessarily matter who wins and loses anymore. I mean, even Road Dogg said wins and losses don't matter. I guess in this modern day WWE, what matters is who is the last guy standing, and in that case it was Roman Reigns, so Roman Reigns is going to demand a title shot because he was the last guy standing. To me, it's very much of a heel characteristic and a heel thing to do, but WWE's attitude is everyone's a shade of gray. Roman Reigns is not a bad guy, he's not a good guy, he's the guy, and he's going to do what he's going to do. You can take it or leave it, love it or hate it, but it is the way things are, and he gets a reaction. People react when he comes out. So WWE is going to do whatever they want with him. This one comes from Andrew. With the Hardys feuding with the Revival, can you see Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose team up to face Cesaro? That's an interesting question. I don't think so right now. I'm sensing that it's going to be Ambrose and Rollins against the Miz Taraj at SummerSlam in some form. Whether it's a 2-on-2 match or a 2-on-3 match, or Miz gets another partner, who knows. But maybe down the line, if WWE doesn't really have something long-term for Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose as individuals, maybe you're best off teaming them up again for a period of time. Especially since the Raw tag teams, that division seems to be pretty weak right now. Maybe a Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins tag team would be a good idea right now. What do you guys think? Leave a comment on NoDQ.com. Do you like the idea? Do you hate the idea? Leave a comment. Let me know. I'll respond. And in general, if you guys want to leave a comment on the NoDQ.com page for this video, I'll be happy to respond and give you my thoughts. If you have a comment or question, anything, just leave a comment on there and let me know what you think. Got this one here from James. When the Authors of Pain go to the main roster, do you see Paul Ellering going with them as well? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I think Paul Ellering is there to help get those guys off the ground and get them established. Once they are established, WWE might decide to not utilize him anymore. You know, Vince is not really a big fan of managers, so I think the odds are against it happening unless Triple H really likes him and wants to keep him as the team's manager. I think it would be a Triple H call. If Triple H can get through to Vince and wants it bad enough, I think it'll happen, but I think if it comes down to Vince, probably not. I think the odds are against it. Got this one here from Converse Craig. Congrats on 1,000. Shout it out. In your opinion, what's your favorite SummerSlam pay-per-view and what is the worst? Alright. Best SummerSlam. In my opinion, it would come down to my own personal favorite, which is 2002. In my opinion, from start to finish, the best SummerSlam WWE ever produced. You had one great match after another, really high quality card, and you had an awesome main event, Brock Lesnar beating The Rock. You had Shawn Michaels and Triple H, fantastic match. You had Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, one of the best opening matches. You had all this great talent from Chris Benoit to Eddie Guerrero to RVD. I mean, the roster was stacked during that period. And that pay-per-view had the star power and awesome talent. I also love 2013 because I was there. CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, one of my all-time favorite SummerSlam matches. Daniel Bryan beating John Cena to win the WWE title, only to have Randy Orton turn heel and cash in Money in the Bank. Awesome end to the pay-per-view. But I think number one would be 2002 and then 2013. Worst SummerSlam. I would have to say 2007. That SummerSlam was horrible. Just a very boring pay-per-view, and the highlight, in my opinion, was the backstage segment with William Regal dancing around with Crime Time. That was better than any of the matches on the entire card, in my opinion. That should tell you right there how bad 2007 was. This one comes from the King of Kings. Hope all is well. Who do you think will be the WWE Champion / Universal Champion by the end of 2017? I would say it's going to be one of four guys. Either Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, or Braun Strowman. I think the likelihood is it's Brock Lesnar, but we could possibly see Lesnar lose the title at SummerSlam and then gain it back early next year in time for WrestleMania. That way we have a period where we actually have a Universal Champion on television every week. What a concept. So I could see that happening. Of the three guys, Reigns, I mean, I think WWE is going to wait on Reigns becoming champion again. I could possibly see Joe winning the title. If anybody's going to beat Lesnar before 2018, I could see it being Joe, especially if they do a Fatal 4-Way match where Lesnar could lose without taking the fall. Maybe Joe beats Reigns or something. I don't know, but that is a very interesting question. My gut feeling right now is Lesnar's going to stay champion for the rest of the year, and he's just going to go through one challenger after another. He'll face Balor at some point, he'll face Rollins, and he'll just go through those guys for the remainder of the year. And we'll see what happens in 2018. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thanks again for watching. Please keep spreading the word. Again, check out Talk Wrestling. It is the 10-year anniversary special. Sunday, it will be up on the NoDQ.com channel. And Jeff will also be interviewing an aspiring female wrestler. Make sure you check that out. I'm sure you guys will enjoy that interview. Like I said at the beginning, I will be on as well, so make sure you tune in, watch the entire thing. Gonna be a happening, as Gorilla Monsoon would say. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding the upcoming Battleground pay-per-view, and I will see you guys next time.